Just want to pick some ambience. And welcome to the final day of the SwimPartners Championships. To start off the day, we have a women's 200 back time final. We have Hannah in lane 5. Please excuse me, we are starting the final day of the SwimPartners Championship with a 200 breast time final. We have a 200 backstroke time final to follow. We have Hannah Rigby here. Looking very comfortable in her first 50, under control. Breaststroke, you don't want to tense up, you don't want to shorten your stroke. Towards that second 100, that last 50, you tend to lock up a bit and get a bit tired when the lactic acid kicks in. So it makes it ever so difficult. But Hannah looks in absolute control of this race. Great glide and stroke rate for a 200 meter breaststroke. Some good fast turns. There's a lot of turns in a 200 meter breaststroke race, short course. We spoke about yesterday how important those turns and starts, especially those underwaters. We had a few swimmers winning their races due to their underwaters, so very much important. Hannah still looking strong as she reaches her 150 meter mark. Last 50 to go. This is where those legs and arms really start to burn. Let's see what she can do in her last 50. She's really pushing hard, looking good, going for it. We have almost just 25 meters left to see if she's able to achieve the time she's aiming for. Throughout this whole race, she's kept her turns really consistent, really fast, good turns. Let's see if she can bring it home. She's got about 5 meters left to go. And Hannah finishes her 200 meter breaststroke in a time of 2 minutes, 49 seconds, 78. Judging from her coach, she may have just missed it, what she was going for. And that brings us onto our women's 200 meter backstroke time final. We have another Hannah in lane 5, but this is Hannah Liebenberg. And has got some big support here. Big race on her hands. Nice fast stroke rate to send her off on her first 25 meters of her 200 meter backstroke. 200 meters, very difficult race, a bit of an in-between. It's not quite a long distance like a 400, 800 or 1.5, but it's also not a complete sprint like 100 meters. So it's that in-between. You got to get your pacing on point. But Hannah looks to be in control of this race so far. Really pushing hard to try and get that time she's aiming for. Some good turns, not utilizing the underwaters as much, but there's no problem in that, as they do sap a lot of your energy, especially from your legs, as she comes in for her time of 1 minute 11 seconds. That was Hannah for a 100-meter backstroke time trial. On our schedule we had as a 200-meter backstroke, but it was in fact 100 meters backstroke. And that brings us to our 100-meter freestyle women's final under 13s. Lane 2 we have Mabaleng, in lane 3 we have Kate, in lane 4 Kristen, in lane 5 Dariana, in lane 6 Lily, in lane 7 Suri, in lane 8 Talia, in lane 9 Kirsten. A little bit of movement from on the blocks there from lane 4 from Kristen, but that's all right. We have a good start from her and the rest of the field in the middle lanes there. Lane 4, 5 and 6 all turning together. We have Dariana in the middle there with a good swim, looking like she's just taking the edge on the rest of the field there, with Lily next to her, turning at almost the exact same time there. Lane 4 Kristen right behind them on their shoulders there. It's going to be a good race between Dariana and lane 6 Lily. Dariana just taking the edge. Let's see what they can do going into this final turn. Some very good underwaters from Dariana there, giving her the edge, seeing if she can hold off Lily. And it looks like she might be able to do that. It's going to be a close finish. And we have Dariana winning that in a time of 1 minute 3 seconds. And second place going to Lily there in lane 6. That brings us to our women's 100-meter 14 to 15-year-old final. In lane 2 we have Vinkanya, in lane 3 we have Kelly, in lane 4 Natanya, lane 5 Mackenzie, lane 6 Ruth, lane 7 Stacy, lane 8 Gabriella, lane 9 Mia, and lane 10 Gabby. Big underwaters there from lane 4 Natanya, but that's lane 5 Mackenzie who has the edge on her right in the beginning, already gaining about a half a body length on the rest of the field as they're going for the first turn. You don't want to be caught behind that wave going into that first wall. But it's lane 5 Mackenzie who's now a body length ahead of the rest of the field. She's having a great first half of her swim. Let's see if she can bring it home the second 50. She's looking really strong. As we can see there, she's just gaining more off the rest of the field. As lane 3 Kelly also comes through, having a great swim on the outside there. As we can see her, she's in second place at the moment. Third place is neck and neck between 3 different swimmers. But as Mackenzie will take the win in a time of 1 minute 1 seconds. Very well swum from her. Second place goes to lane 3 Kelly. Very good swim from her on the outside there. That brings us to our women's 16 and over 100 meter freestyle final. In lane 2 we have Tammy. In lane 3 we have Christine. In lane 4 we have LMA. In lane 5 we have Jessica. Lane 6 Alexia. In lane 7 Tanya. In lane 8 Marguerite. In lane 9 Casey. We have 4 waterborne swimmers right next to each other, so some great rivalry between them. And it's lane 5 again with the big underwaters. That's Jessica, who seems to have a bit of an edge on the field going in. Some nice easy speed from her, keeping it nice, cool, calm and controlled, with some more big underwaters from her, as we've spoken about previously. Very important in the short course races, as she leads the rest of the field by about almost half a body length now. Let's see what she can do in the rest of the 50. Some great underwaters and turns from her. But we also have Tanya in lane 7 there, who seems to be in second place, and as saying that, we've got LMA in lane 4 who seems to be catching. Big swim from her. It's Jessica about a body length ahead of the rest of the field. She'll hold on to that. But it looks like we've got LMA in lane 4 who's trying to grab that second place. Going neck and neck with Tanya. Let's see who'll get that second and third place. That's Jessica, who won that race in a time of 58.66. Very well done to her. And second place goes to lane 4, LMA. And that brings us to our men's 100 meter final, the under 13s. In lane 2 we have Troy. Lane 3 we have Gordon. In lane 4 we have Tian. In lane 5 we have Devar. In lane 6 we have Lequan. In lane 7 we have Adam. In lane 8 we have Victor. And lane 9 Stefan. Very exciting swimming from the ladies there as we move on to the men's. Let's see what they can put on for us. Going into the first turn, looks like we have Lequan who turns first there, along with Tian in lane 5, sorry. Apologies for that, it's Devar in lane 5. As him and Lequan turn at the same time there. Quite an even field here. And that's a 100 meter freestyle, very intense, very close. If we look on the far end of the field there, Stefan having a good race. And in saying that, we have lane 3, Gordon, who's having an awesome race here. He's fighting very hard. You can see that big kick on our screen there. He's fighting for first place there. Let's see if he can get it. But looks like we have Lincoln in lane 6 there, who might take it. It's going to be a tight race between the two of them. And it is lane 6, Lincoln, who gets that in a time of 1:41. Great racing there. And a great outstanding race there from Gordon in lane 3. That brings us to our men's 14 to 1500 meter final. In lane 2 we have Adam. In lane 3 we have Leo. In lane 4 we have Caden. In lane 5 we have Stefan. In lane 6 we have Joshua. In lane 7 we have Max. In lane 8 we have Keaton. In lane 9 we have Jovan. Very good start there from lane 6, Joshua, but great underwaters from Stefan in lane 5, who seems to have taken the lead there, going into our first 25 meters. As we see them coming in for the turn, all very close, but it's those middle lanes. Stefan in lane 5, who's got the edge on the rest of the field, but take nothing away from Joshua in lane 6. He's right on his shoulder as they actually turn at the same time there. Let's see what they can do the second 50 meters. Joshua with a big kick there. Stefan with the slightly faster stroke rate on the arms. Let's see if Stefan's able to hold off Joshua. It's all going to count on this final turn. Going into the last 25 meters, Stefan has the slight edge on Joshua with slightly better underwater there helping him. But Joshua fighting really hard. Great swim from them. They're about a body length ahead of the rest of the field. Joshua is facing Stefan, putting his head down. Will he take it? Let's see who gets it at the end. It's lane 5, Stefan in a time of 53.89. Great swim from him. Second place goes to Joshua. Very close, very exciting. Great swim from those two young men. And that brings us on to the big boys, the 16 and over 100 meter final. In lane 2 we have Giannis, in lane 3 we have Christian, in lane 4 we have Gideon, in lane 5 we have Chris, in lane 6 we have Chris, in lane 7 we have Bjorn, in lane 8 Elijah, in lane 9 Ruan. Chris is definitely someone to look out for in this race. He had a great heat swim, and as we can see, he can do it all. He can do the 100 meters, he can do the 400 meters. Let's see how he performs today in the final. Very good start there from lane 4, Gideon. As we can see, those starts and turns mean everything. Very close going into the first turn here. But it is Chris who has taken the slight edge there, who's leading this race. Beyond in lane 6 there, in lane 7, sorry, having a great swim. But it is Chris who's about a body length ahead of the rest of the field, with Gideon there on his feet. Beyond there, and Gideon fighting for second place, going into the wall. It'll be Chris who takes this one with another incredible swim from him. Looks like Gideon will get second. And we have there Christian in lane 3, who might be fighting to get that third place. We'll see who gets it. The third place there goes to lane 7 Beyond. So very good swim from the whole field there. As we now move on to our women's 200 meter IM Heat 1. This is time final. In lane 2 we have Hannah, in lane 3 we have Layla, in lane 4 we have Mia, in lane 5 we have Isabella, in lane 6 we have Michaela, in lane 7 we have Kazal. We have Hannah and Kazal in lane 7 and lane 2 there, having a good start to their 200 meter IM. They move on to their backstroke leg. We have Giselle there leading on her backstroke leg. great swim from her so far, looking very comfortable and in control of her race. And on the other end of the pool, we have Hannah there in lane 2, who's in second place, ahead of the rest of the field, also looking in control of her race. As we now move on to the breaststroke leg, arguably one of the most important legs of a 200 meter IM, the third length of a 200 meter, always crucial. Lots of cheers on the side of the pool there, almost confusing Giselle. She thought they were asking her maybe to stop for some reason. As she carries on with the rest of her breaststroke leg. In lane 3 and 5 here we have Isabella and Layla. They're having a great swim there, making sure the officials on the side can see they're touching with 2 hands in breaststroke. Always got to ensure that on all your turns for butterfly going into the backstroke and the breaststroke. Always easy to slip up on, especially when they start to get tired. But here's Giselle finishing the rest of her 200 meter IM with the freestyle here, and she'll finish in a time of 2 minutes 35 seconds. And we have lane 6 there, Michaela, on your screen as she's getting into her freestyle. Great 6-speed kick there, finishing off strong. You can see where the rest of the field is, as she has Isabella there in lane 5 just behind her, and Layla in lane 3. And that's lane 6. Michaela finishes her 200 meter IM, followed by Isabella in lane 5 and Layla in lane 3. And we have lane 4, Mia, coming through now to finish her 200 meter IM. Great 6-speed kick there to bring her home. That brings us on to heat 2. In lane 2 we have Leafy, in lane 3 we have Hannah, lane 4 Caitlin, lane 5 Maya, lane 6 Zama, lane 7 Neo, lane 8 Sophie, lane 9 Maloko. That gets us underway. We're having a great start there from lane 4, Caitlin, and Hannah in lane 3 seems to going to the wall first there, with the rest of the field coming through. Caitlin in lane 4 with some great underwaters there from the turn. And we have Zama in lane 6 there, finishing off her 50 meter fly strong, as she's going to turn to go into the backstroke first. We have Zama leading this race with Neo right next to her, and lane 4 Caitlin in third. This could change ever so slightly in the backstroke here as we see Caitlin coming through to take that second place spot. Let's see how they go into the wall. Caitlin with a great backstroke leg here as she's overtaking Zama. This backstroke to breaststroke turn also important You want to get that right. Nice flip turn there from Caitlin in lane 4. And as we spoke about earlier, this breaststroke leg also important, as we see Zama coming through with a strong breaststroke leg there. As we know, that can make or break your 200 IM. Personally, one of the toughest legs, that breaststroke leg, everything really starts burning and you just got to push through it and bring it home in the freestyle. As we see, Zama's got quite a nice lead now for herself, about 2 body lengths on the rest of the field. Caitlin in 2nd place, and next to Caitlin we have Hannah in lane 3, who seems to have grabbed 3rd place there. Great swim from her so far. As Zama turns into her last leg of the 200 IM, which was her freestyle. We saw none of the field had too much of a big kick there in the backstroke, but you can see them all bringing in that big 6-speed kick to bring them home in the freestyle. As we can see, Zama has a big lead there. Very great swim from her so far, with Caitlin in 2nd, who's fighting hard to try improve her time, and a tight race there for 3rd place. Zama finishing in a time of 3 minutes 2 seconds. And it's going to be a tight race between Hannah and Neo in lane 7. And it is Neo in lane 7 who gets the 3rd place. And that brings us to heat 3. In lane 2 we have Otal. In lane 3 we have Mia. In lane 4 we have Talia. In lane 5 we have Kirsten. In lane 6 we have Talia. Lane 7 Roxy. Lane 8 Madison. And lane 9 Megan. We have a great start here from Kirsten in lane 5 as she leads, going into the wall for their first 25 of the butterfly of their 200 meter IM. As you see the rest of them turning at the wall. Some good underwaters from her as well in lane 5 just to extend her lead. On the other end of the pool we have strong swimming there from Roxy and Madison, strong fly leg from them. We see lane 5 Kirsten getting a little bit tired towards the end of her fly there. Let's see if she can hold it together for the rest of the race. And it looks like she will be able to do that. She looks like she's in control, having a good swim with the strong backstroke leg there from Madison in lane 8. As we can see, it looks like she might have taken the lead now, has a slight edge. But we have lane 5 Kirsten coming back hard in this backstroke, and they turn together with Madison there. Kirsten having a great backstroke leg. She was a little bit tired at the end of the fly there, but pulling it back in her backstroke, no pun intended. Lane 3 we have Mia, who's having a strong backstroke leg, really pushing hard. You can see her on the edge of your screen there as she turns now. Very close race between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's exciting stuff here at Wahoo for the SwimPartners Championship. But it is Kirsten over here who's in the lead by a body length and a half. Looks like she has very strong breaststroke. We know how important that is. Good turn there. Some good underwaters, especially in Well, in a long course pool at least, those underwaters, that breaststroke underwater always saps your oxygen. Not as easy as it looks. So now just imagine short course, you got almost double the amounts of turns, so they're absolutely crucial as we have Kirsten going into her last leg of the 200 meter IM with their freestyle. As we said earlier, a little bit tired at the end of the fly, but we said straight away it looks like she's in control, and that's exactly what she's done here as she pulls further away from the rest of the field. As we can see here, she's about 4 body lengths ahead, so it's an awesome swim from her, and exciting stuff between 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th there. We have on the other side of the pool Roxy and Madison fighting hard along with Talia, but it looks to be lane 4 who might get it. Talia. It's going to be a close finisher between 4 and 6, and it is lane 4, Talia, who gets that. Yeah, they're both Talias. We got Talia McCabe and Talia Hill. Talia Hill getting the 3rd place and Talia McCabe getting the 2nd. Great swimming from these young ladies. That brings us to heat 4. In lane 2 we have Mabaleng. In lane 3 we have Gabby. In lane 4 we have Alessia. In lane 5 we have Gabriela. In lane 6 we have Letabo. In lane 7 we have Kate. In lane 8 we have Ava. In lane 9 we have Shalem. Good start there from lane 5, Gabriela. As she has Gabby and Alessia right behind her. Going into the wall first, we have Alessia there who's now taken the lead, and Gabby right next to her, along with lane 5, Gabriela. And in the far end of the pool there, you can see Shalem having a good swim there, good 50 fly. But it is lane 4, Alessia, who's in the lead at the moment. Looks to have a strong backstroke. We saw in the previous heats, as you can see now, not too much kicking coming from them in the backstroke, but they really do bring that 6-speed kick in into the freestyle leg when they're bringing it home. As we see Gabby in lane 3 starting to creep up on Alessia there, trying to close that gap. And in 3rd place, we have lane 5, Gabriela. Let's see what happens in this breaststroke leg of their 200 IM. Great turns there from lane 4, Alessia. Nice flip turn. Arguably faster, depending on how you do it, or personal preference. We have Gabby in lane 3, who's really hunting down Alessia in lane 4 in this breaststroke leg, pushing hard as they got 25 left of this breaststroke. We see there Gabby catching Alessia. See if she's able to push enough to catch her going into the wall, into the freestyle leg. Alessia fighting hard to keep her lead. But on the other end of the pool there, we have Kate and Ava, who's had an incredible breaststroke leg. We know how important that is, as they all touch together, all 4 of them, and it's all gonna come down to the freestyle leg of who takes this. They're all looking at each other, breathing. We have Alessia breathing to both sides of the pool. But it is lane 7, Kate, who's had a incredibly well-structured swim so far. She's going to win this race, coming from behind. Incredible breaststroke leg. We've spoken about it, and that just shows how important it is, as she's going to win this race in a time of 2 minutes 46. Great swim from her. as we see, it's not how you start the race, but how you finish. Great swimming from these young ladies. That brings us to Heat 5 of the Women's 200 meter IM. In lane 2 we have Tyler, in lane 3 we have Isabella, lane 4 Gabby, lane 5 Casey, lane 6 Marguerite, lane 7 Mackenzie, lane 8 Lily, lane 9 Tammy. Some big underwaters there from lane 3 Isabella, but a great start from lane 2 Tyler. Then we have lane 6 and 7 Margarita Mackenzie, who is going into the wall along with lane 2 Tyler. Marguerite in lane 6, very strong butterfly stroke there as she turns first going into the backstroke. With a great backstroke there from Marguerite in lane 6. You can see her head's nice and back. Getting good elbow bend, rotating her hips. She's about a body length ahead of the rest of the field, but we must not forget about Tyler in lane 2, as she's not giving up there. She's having an incredible swim. And coming through there in lane 8 is Lily, who had a great backstroke leg there. Let's see who can bring it home in this breaststroke. Very close here between lane 5, 6, 7 and 8. And you see there Tyler on the edge of the screen. She's wanting to put her name on the board, on the podium. And it's lane 7 there, Mackenzie, who seems to have a slight edge on everyone. Great breaststroke leg from her. Let's see if she can hold everyone off in the freestyle as they'll try fight back. She's gained about half body length in the rest of the field there, so great breaststroke leg from her. You can see big kick there. She's fighting hard to keep this lead. Now she's worked so hard for on the breaststroke. We have Marguerite in lane 6, who's in second place there. As we see, the field has started to separate a bit after that breaststroke leg. But it's going to be Mackenzie in lane 7 who's going to win this 200 meter IM, with Marguerite in lane 6 to come second. And that's all due to the breaststroke leg and a well-constructed race from Mackenzie there to win that race. That brings us to Heat 6. In lane 3 we have Ruth, in lane 4 Hannah, lane 5 Jessica, lane 6 Gabriella, lane 7 Haley, lane 8 Christine, lane 9 Maya. Cameraman, can you keep it still? So we've had a great start here from lane 3, Ruth. We have lane 5, Jessica, there in the middle of the pool. She had an awesome 100-meter freestyle final. Let's see, big underwaters from her again. We saw that in a 100-meter final. Let's see how she goes in this 200-meter IM. See if that lactic acid starts to kick in or if she can carry it through. She would have done some big training coming into the Scala. So there's no doubt that she'll be able to control this race and race multiple events over the weekend, and that's what it's all about. As we see her going into the wall first in the backstroke leg there with some more big underwaters. We've seen her throughout this event opting for those big underwaters there, getting that advantage in a short course pool. The only downside to it is obviously it does sap a lot of your energy, drains your legs because you have some of the biggest arteries in your legs which need some of the most oxygen, so that can affect your last leg on that freestyle and obviously your whole race, having to bring in that big 6-speed kick. As we see, she's got a strong breaststroke, but next to her in lane 6 we have Gabriella, who's fighting for that first place there. As you can see, she's also having a good breaststroke leg there. It's going to be a good race between the two of them. We'll see if Jessica can hold her off and how the freestyle leg goes. We've seen she's got a good freestyle, Jessica, but Gabriella in lane 6 is having an awesome swim, and it's all about that breaststroke leg as we've seen. Let's see if Jessica can pull it back in the freestyle. Jessica breathing towards Gabriella, so she would have seen her by now and knowing she's really got to push to try reclaim her first spot there. Both fighting hard. Gabriella fighting hard to hold off Jessica. As you can see, those big kicks coming in now. It's going to be a very close finish between the two of them. Jessica now breathing the opposite way, so she's not going to see Gabriella in lane 6. Let's see who wins this race. It's going to come right down to the wire, and it is lane 6, Gabriella, who just takes it there with Jessica coming second. Great swim from these two young ladies. And third place goes to lane 8 on the outside, Christine, with a great swim from her. And that brings us to the first heat of our men's 200-meter IM. In lane 2, we have Cameron. In lane 3, we have Stefan. In lane 4, we have Jean-André. In lane 5, we have Reese. In lane 6, we have Machine. In lane 6, we have Johannes. In lane 8, we have Michael. Jean-Ray in lane 4 is someone to look out for, as we see some big underwaters from him. He's obviously just needing a time for his 200-meter IM, so that's why he's been placed in heat 1. But up there with him, we have lane 7, Johannes, who's also put in a big fly leg there. Looks very strong, the two of them up in the front. We have the two of them on their backstroke leg now. The rest of the field's finishing their butterfly. Great fast turn from Jean-André there. As we've seen throughout the 200 IMs, can't see much splash or kick there in the backstroke. They are definitely kicking very hard and fast, I can tell you that. But it's just not as evident as in the freestyle when they're trying to bring it home. You can see Jean-André in lane 4 over there with a strong breaststroke as they turn together with Giannis there on the other end of the pool, as Jean-Ray seems to have taken the lead. It's all going to come down to the freestyle. Jean-Ray looking very comfortable in his freestyle here, with Giannis on the opposite end there in lane 7. Jean-Ray not too worried, as he's going to cruise comfortably to win this race. And Jean-Ray does win this race at a time of 2 minutes 28. And second we had Giannis there in a time of 2 minutes 31. We have lane 2 on your screen at the moment, finishing his 200 IM, that's Cameron. That brings us on to heat 2. In lane 2 we have Cole, lane 3 David, lane 4 Andrew, lane 5 Amir, lane 6 Tynus, lane 7 Sabi, lane 8 Nicholas. Had a great start there from lane 6 Tynus, who's leading the first leg of the 200 IM as they go into the turn for their first 25 meters there. Jean-Ray has just won his race there in the bottom of your screen. Tynus with a full body length lead on the rest of the field, as he's going to turn into his backstroke leg now. And then we have lane 8, who seems to be in second place there, Nicholas, having a great swim so far. So look, Nicholas looking to have a strong backstroke as well, good stroke rate there, but it's Tynus there in lane 6, who's leading the whole field by body length and a half. As we've seen previously, anything can change in the breaststroke. But Tynus seems to be holding them off nicely with a strong backstroke leg there, with Nicholas in second place having an incredible swim in the outside lane, and he has Sabi next to him in third place, also having a great swim. It's going to be a close race between the three of them, as we see Sabi and Nicholas creeping up on Tynus there. Sabi with a great breaststroke, Nicholas trying to hold him off, and Tynus in lane 5 trying to hold on to his lead there. He's got about 2 body lengths on the rest of them now. He's holding them off nicely. Had a well-rounded 200 IM so far, all 4 of the strokes. Let's see what he can do in the freestyle. As we see, Sabi has just overtaken Nicholas there on the breaststroke. We'll see if Sabi can hold off Nicholas in the freestyle. It's going to be a tight, interesting, very exciting race as they touch almost together, Sabi and Nicholas, with Tynus still in the lead by about 2 body lengths still. He's had a great swim so far. looks like in the freestyle leg, Tynus has been very strong as he seems to have gained another body length off the rest of the field. So great swim from him from the start. He wanted to win this race and he has done so. An excellent swim from him so far. And Tynus wins that in a time of 2 minutes 49 seconds. Well done to him. And we see Nicholas in lane 8 has reclaimed that second place spot in the freestyle leg, just overtaking Sabi. Very great swim from him, fighting hard for that second place, or from the same club there, or teammates or training partners having a great swim for first, second and third place. That brings us on to Heat 3. Lane 2 we have Joshua. Lane 3 we have Luca. Lane 4 we have Harry. Lane 5 we have Troy. Lane 6 we have Ardhaven. Lane 7 we have Jacques. Lane 8 we have Nathan. And lane 9 Connor. That's Heat 3 in the water at the moment. We have Nathan in lane 8, who's had a good first 25 of his 200 meter IM as he turns first. And it seems to have a very strong butterfly. And next to him we have Jacques in lane 7. He's right next to him there. He'll turn into the wall second. And turn into the wall third will be Harry in lane 4. We have Nathan in lane 8, keeping his lead with a strong backstroke there. About half a body length on Jacques. And you can see in our screen there, lane 4, Harry, who's in third place at the moment with Ardhaven next to him, Troy next to him in lane 5. But at the moment, it's all eyes on lane 8, Nathan, and lane 7, Jacques with first and second. And we have lane 4, Harry in third place. And lane 5, Troy in fourth. We've seen how important this breaststroke leg is, so it'll be interesting to see this battle between Nathan and Jacques. What happens, if anything happens, but Nathan seems to be very much in control of this race from the start. Had a strong butterfly, strong backstroke, looks like to be having a strong breaststroke, so he's been in the lead since the very beginning and he's not willing to give it up. Great swim from him so far, as he seems to pull a little bit of a lead on Jacques there, but coming through there we see lane 4, Harry with a strong breaststroke. He's not giving up, he's fighting hard. Very great breaststroke leg from him so far, as you see him turning now, going into the freestyle. But it's lane 8 there, Nathan. He wanted this win from the start and he's not letting anyone catch him. In this last freestyle leg we have the rest of the field, Harry and Troy, coming back at Nathan hard there. They're really fighting, putting in a good freestyle leg, as we can see them there. It's lane 5, Troy. He's put in a very big freestyle leg there to claim second. And Nathan winning that race. Great swim from him. Harry coming in second. Sorry, that's Troy coming in second in lane 5. Great swim from them. Great swim from Nathan on the outside. Very well deserved. In lane 2, we have James. In lane 3, we have Armand. In lane 4, we have Tarek. In lane 5, we have Javius. In lane 6, we have Felix. In lane 7, we have Lachlan. In lane 8, we have Benjamin. In lane 9, we have Telatello. Very good start there from lane 6, Felix. He's gone straight to the front, ahead of the rest of the field by a whole body length in the first 25 meters. And we have there in lane 3, just having a strong first leg of his 200 IM in the fly. That's Armand in lane 3. Going into the backstroke, it's still Felix in the lead. Still got a long race ahead of us, and we seem to have a very competitive field here as we get an overview of where the current standings are of all our swimmers. Going into the wall here, having a great swim by Armand in lane 3. He's in second place at the moment. And on our far screen there, we have lane 7, Lachlan. Lachlan in lane 7, currently in third place. Let's see what the breaststroke holds for us. We have Armand in lane 3, looking to have a very good breaststroke leg. He's fighting hard to try claim that number 1 spot from Felix. Felix gonna try hold him off for the rest of this race, as they've got 75 meters left of their 200 IM. Armand's having a great swim in lane 3. His outside lanes are really doing well at the Scala so far. Let's see if it's enough for Armand to catch Felix, and it's all going to come down to that freestyle leg. We have lane 5, Javius, having a big breaststroke leg there, coming back hard at the rest of the field there. He's going to want to put in a big freestyle leg to catch them. Will it be enough? We'll have to wait and see, as Felix and Armand are neck and neck as they fighting it out. Armand really pushing hard to gain that lead. He might just have the edge on this turn, as we see he does. Very well constructed race here by Armand. Felix has now seen it. He's really kicking and fighting hard. Might be a little bit too late, as we see Armand touching the wall first at a time of 2 minutes 45 seconds. Felix second, and third going to lane 5, Javius, who came back in that breaststroke leg. We've seen it happen time and time again. Very well constructed swim from him. That brings us on to Heat 5 of men's 200 meter IM. In lane 2 we have Victor, lane 3 Arnold, in lane 4 Gio, in lane 5 Ashley, lane 6 Gerard, in lane 7 Owen, in lane 8 Lenko, in lane 9 Luca. Very good start there from lane 5, Ashley. Very quick off the blocks. But we have lane 3 there, Arnold, who's also up there on this first 25 meters of their butterfly leg. But it's Ashley in lane 5 who turns first with some good underwaters, followed by Arnold in lane 3. And just behind Arnold there is Victor in lane 2. Lane 5, Ashley going out very hard here for his 200 meter IM as we go to the backstroke leg now, and he's keeping that same intensity up in the backstroke, very high stroke rate. As we see there, Victor in lane 2 overtaking Arnold on this backstroke leg, and the rest of the field coming through now. Ashley's gained himself about a 2.5 body length on the rest of the field. With Victor in lane 2 having a very strong backstroke leg there. The outside lanes having incredible swims. As we said yesterday, lane 2 and 3 are the lucky lanes. But at the end of the day, swimming, we know, is not luck. It all comes down to the hard work these athletes are putting in. As we see Victor we have Ashley keeping his lead there, Victor lane 2, but we have lane 4 Gio there coming through. It's all going to come down to this freestyle leg between Victor and Gio. And the rest of the pool on the other end, lane 6, 7, 8, and 9, which is Gerard, Owen, Lenko, and Luca, all coming through hard in this breaststroke. It's going to be a fight between the 4 of them, the 5 of them, now the 6 of them, as we can see on our screen now in this freestyle leg, all very close, especially on that other end of the pool, lane 6, 7, 8, and 9. But it's Ashley who's going to win this race right in the front there. Got about 3-4 body lengths ahead of the rest of the field. Gio coming through nicely. Lenko in lane 2 trying to hold off the other side of the pool. It's going to be a very close race to see if he can hold them off. He's had a great performance. Ashley who finishes first there, and Gio going to touch second. It's all about who's going to touch third between these 5 swimmers. Let's see who touches third. It's lane 2 Victor who touches third. Very great swim from him on the outside there. Great swimming on the other end of the pool, lane 6, 7, 8, and 9. As we now move on to heat 6 of the men's 200 meter IM. In lane 2 we have JJ, lane 3 we have Cornele, in lane 4 we have Michael, lane 5 Laquan, in lane 6 Duncan, lane 7 Gordon, lane 8 Adam, lane 9 Troy. Why are you resting? We have a very strong start there from Duncan in lane 6, taking nothing away from lane 2, JJ and Cornelia in lane 3. They're having an awesome start, but it is Duncan in lane 6 who touches first. He's been putting a lot of work in at the gym. Very strong young man. As lane 2, JJ is having an awesome first leg there next to Cornelia, touching at the same time. Duncan going in first into the backstroke. We've spoken about lane 2 and 3 having great swims this meet. On the other side of Duncan there we have Gordon, who's not far behind. Still a long race ahead of us. A lot can change. So more exciting things to come, especially in that breaststroke leg. And as we say that, we see JJ in lane 2 seems to have the slight edge on Duncan in lane 6. With Gordon in lane 7 catching and take nothing away from Adam in lane 8 as he starts to come through in the field. Duncan with a slightly slower turn. We've seen and spoken about the importance of turns there. Gordon in lane 7 with a very quick flip turn there. And we have JJ lane 2 here who's still leading the race. It's all going to come down to this breaststroke. And JJ seems to have a very good breaststroke there. Wayne swimmers really constructing a very, very good 200 IM. As we've seen, throughout this meet. And it's lane 7, Jordan, who's now overtaken Duncan, but we still have lane 2, JJ, in the lead, going into the freestyle leg with Gordon right behind him. It's all going to come down to this freestyle. Gordon seems to have a very good stroke there, so does JJ. We'll see here now. We've got Michael in lane 4 fighting hard. He's claimed that third place spot. He's going to try get second or even first. We'll see as JJ starts fatiguing a bit, and it's a race between Gordon, Duncan and lane 4 Michael, and it is lane 4 Michael who claims the number 1 spot there. Great swim from him. We've spoken about that breaststroke and that freestyle, how important that second half of the race is, and Michael there showing us exactly how it's done. That brings us on to heat 7. In lane 2 we have Chris, lane 3 Eben, lane 4 Adam, lane 5 Conrad, lane 6 Vishay, lane 7 Chris, lane 8 Zander, and lane 9 Tian. Very good start there from lane 4 Adam. On the other side of the pool there we have lane 8 Zondo's had a very strong fly, but not much in between this field here, as they all touched more or less the same time. Big underwaters from Adam in lane 4. Very close in this fly, but as we've seen, it's all about that second half of the race. That breaststroke leg, so important. Some more big underwaters from Adam. Very good strategy in a short course pool. Just got to be careful about it, as we spoke about how it saps your energy and your oxygen, especially from your legs, adding to that lactic acid buildup and fatigue towards the end of the race. But Adam seems to have claimed the lead here with a strong backstroke leg. We know he's got a strong breaststroke as well, but nothing much in between this field here. Very good racing. We'll see how we go as Zonda touches second there, not far behind Adam. Adam really put in a great performance here. You can see by his breaststroke stroke, great stroke. Getting those elbows nice and high on the in sweep, finishing his kick, hips nice and high, as he continues to extend his lead by now a body length and a half on the rest of the field. Zonda in the far lane there, in second place, with Eben in lane 3, who's coming through strong. And we have Adam holding this 200 IM together very well. The strong freestyle here, as we see, is in the lead by about 2 body lengths on the rest of the field. We have Zonda in the far lane, fighting hard to hold off lane 4 Adam. Lane 3 Eben. And lane 3 Eben seems to have taken the lead there from Zonda to claim that second place spot. And it's Adam who will win in a time of 2 minutes 22 seconds. Followed there by Eben in lane 3 and Zonda and then Vishay. That brings us onto our final heat. We have the big boys here. In lane 2 we have Gianluca. In lane 3 we have Gideon. Lane 4 we have Elijah. Lane 5 Chris. Lane 6 Joshua. Lane 7 Ruan. Lane 8 Christian. And lane 9 Jaden. This is going to be a very interesting race, that we've seen Joshua and Chris fight it out throughout this meet. Chris has had an incredible gala so far. He's able to do it all. raced multiple events, which in hard training can have an effect that lactic acid starts to kick in, but he's definitely been in control, and let's see how he can carry it through into his 200 IM. Another great start there from lane 3, Gideon, with Chris soon after taking the lead there as they're going for their first turn of the 25 meters fly, the 25 meter mark. Chris there by about a half a body length ahead in their first leg of the 200 meter IM, finishing the fly, going into the backstroke. Some nice big underwaters there from Chris. A strategy I used to have to use going into my 200 IM. Big underwaters on the backstroke, because backstroke was not my strong point. Luckily breaststroke was, and we've seen how important that leg is. Arguably one of the most important legs in a 200 meter IM, and especially in any 200 meter race. So it's not how you start, but how you finish, and work around your weaknesses. You see a new turn there coming from Chris. We've seen the flip turn, and this is one of the newer turns. Same turn I used to use, definitely a lot faster if executed well, a bit more complex, but Chris executing everything perfectly this gala so far, as he's about 2 body lengths ahead of the rest of the field, with Gideon in second there. So we have a broad overview of the field there. We have Gideon, and next to him we have Elijah. Across the edge of the pool there we have Ruan. But it's all eyes on Chris at the moment as he finishes off his freestyle leg with a great stroke, as we've seen throughout the gala. Big 6-speed kick there to finish it. Looks nice and comfortable. Looks like this is his first race of the whole gala. That's how well he's holding it together. He's going to finish this race in a time of 2 minutes 6 seconds. Very good swim from him. The rest of the field coming through now, as we have Gideon, who finishes second, and lane 7, Ruan and Christian fighting it out for third place. That brings us onto our long distance races. We now have the women's 800 meter freestyle. In lane 3 we have Ava, in lane 4 we have Kelly, lane 5 we have Alexia, in lane 6 we have Hannah, lane 7 Lily, and lane 8 Megan. A lot of turns on an 800 meter freestyle in a short course pool. On the other end of the pool there, as you can see, they've got their lap counters. They've got 32 laps to go. We have 2 swimmers missing in the middle there. That's lane 5 and 6. Lexia and Hannah have scratched from this event. But we have a great start from lane 3 Eva and lane 4 Kelly as they turn into the wall first. Long race ahead of us as they started off strong. We have lane 3 and 4, Eva and Kelly. They've stuck side by side so far this race, as we see lane 4 Kelly gain a slight edge. And in saying that, we have lane 7 Lily, who seem to have caught them slightly there. She's not letting them get too far. see on the other end of the pool there, Lily, with a lot slower stroke rate, looking very comfortable. We'll see how the second half of her race goes. Like we said, it's a very long race. Anything can happen. So you've got to really construct this race well, and be smart about it. You don't want to go out too hard, and you will definitely then feel it the second half of the race. So got to make sure you get your timing right, and know yourself, know your body, know what you can push yourself through. No race is ever easy, but you can always construct a race well, and their coaches would have given them a bit of a prep talk, especially before a race like this, 800 meters, a lot of strategy that goes into it. So let's see how these girls do, as we have lane 4, Kelly, who seems to have extended her lead there from Eva in lane 3. She's having a great swim so far, and we'll see lane 7, Lily, how she does and if she can close that gap. As we see Lily there, we spoke about her stroke. She looks in great control of this race so far. Nice and light, very well controlled, as she seems to have caught up to Eva there, as we'll see now as they turn the whole field there. She's caught up to Eva nicely. But it's Kelly in lane 4 who's extended her lead by about 3 body lengths now. So great swimming from her. It's going to take a lot of work from the rest of the young ladies to catch up to her, as Kelly puts in a very big swim here. She's still got 19 laps to go, so it's still a very long race ahead of them. She looks like she's going to be able to keep it up though. She's done very well so far. As we now focus on Eva going into her turn, as you can see there, 19 laps for her to go. And there's Kelly on your screen in lane 4, and on the far end there we have Lily in lane 7, and coming through now in lane 3 we have Ava. Lily got the slight edge on Eva at the moment. We'll see what she can do throughout the rest of this race, as they've got 17 laps left to go. We've gone from fast action, 4 lengths of the pool, 8 lengths of the pool, now all the way to 32 lengths of the pool. So a lot different in terms of racing here. Strategies are very different. The training for these types of races are very different. These long distance swimmers are really putting in the hours in the pool. Very different to the sprinters and short distance racers, as those they're going to be putting a lot of work in the pool, but also in the gym, gaining some strength, some power, those fast twitch muscle fibers. They're really needing those for those short, quick races, which you've seen earlier. I mean, yesterday we saw the 50 freestyle, and that was basically just splash. You can't tell the difference between anyone, but always also very exciting stuff. But that also takes nothing away from a long distance race. They can be very exciting because it is such a long race, anything can change. As we see the positions staying the same there, we've spoken about Kelly here. She's led from the start and she's not willing to give it up. She's kept her stroke rate and everything consistent throughout her 800 meter free so far, so she's having a great race. As we see Lily in lane 7 there, moving up in the field as she overtook Ava in lane 3. So she's having a very good race. Both girls really swimming well. Lily coming back strong here. We spoke about the second half of the race, and that's exactly what Lily's executing right now. As you see there, Kelly just seems to extend her lead every lap, so it's a great swim from her so far. There on the far end of the pool, we have Lily and Megan. Lily in second place, having a great swim there, looks very much in control. As we start to zoom back and we see our race leader there passing our lane 3 swimmer, which is Ava. As we can see, the field is quite mixed at the moment, tends to happen in a long distance race. We see our race winner at the moment, Kelly, in lane 4. Her lap timer shows that she's got three laps left, so she comes to the end of this race. The rest of the field coming through now. In the end lane there, we have Lily, who also has 3 laps to go. And Ava in lane 2. And we see Kelly coming through now. She's got 1 lap to go. Very good swim from her. She was in control right from the beginning, and she just continued to extend her lead as she comes through now, and she'll win this race. Great swim from her. She's still got some left in the tank there, as you can see, pushing hard to finish this rest of this 800 meter off strong, and she'll finish it in a time of 9 minutes 56, so dipping under that 10-minute mark. So incredible swim from her. We see Ava here turning in for her last lap, while Lily on the opposite end there is finishing off her 800 meter freestyle. You can see she brought in that kick there towards the end. Well constructed race from her, and she finishes her 800 meter freestyle in a time of 10 minutes 15 seconds. As we focus on Ava now coming through for the 3rd place, and she's going to be finishing her 800 meter freestyle for 3rd place in a time of 10 minutes 30 seconds. That brings us onto our men's 800 meter freestyle. In lane 2 we have Max, lane 3 Caden, lane 4 Tyrone, in lane 5 Chris, lane 6 Stefan, lane 7 Leo, in lane 8 Julian, lane 9 Taylor. And that starts us off for the men's 800 meter freestyle, and straight to the front once again we have Chris. You may have noticed he's just finished his 200 meter IM and straight into this 800 meter freestyle. He's had an incredible meet so far and looking ever so strong in this 800 meter freestyle. Seems to be no lactic acid in this man as he just keeps going from race to race. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, he's had about 12 minutes of rest between his 200 IM and this now 800 meter freestyle. I was looking at him there just sitting at the blocks behind the timekeepers, and he didn't even take off his cap and goggles. So straight from one race to the next, and once again straight into the lead there, lane 5. And next to him in lane 6 we have Stefan. He's also having a very good swim so far. They've still got a very long race ahead of them. In lane 3 we have Caden, and lane 4 Tyron, who are having a very good race. Caden in lane 3 looking very comfortable, looking very much in control of his race. We'll see how he does the second half. He's looking very strong at the moment. And on our screen there we have Stefan, who's trying not to let Chris get too far away from him. Might want to try reel him in the second half of this race. But Chris would obviously want to extend his lead and carry on with his winning streak. We'll see how he does for the second half of the race, if any of this racing starts to affect him. He's had huge amount of races, and it can take its toll towards the end of the gala. Doesn't seem to have affected him at all. So it's a great training gala for him at the moment. That would be in hard training for nationals. So there'll be no tapering or coming down, shaving, none of that for this gala. They'll use it as a training gala for nationals, get some times on the board, see where they're at, and just get some extra swimming in. We spoke about these long distance swimmers and the hours they put in. They're in the pool by far the longer than anyone else, putting in those extra hours, those extra Ks every day. And as we can see, that even shows in the build of the swimmer. You'll see a long distance swimmer has a completely different build compared to sprinter. The sprinter, like we said, they're in the gym, so they're a lot more built, have a bit more muscle on them. They need those fast twitch muscle fibers and fast reactions to really, bring it home. It's split seconds generally between the whole field in a 50 meter, sometimes in a 100 meter race. So these long distance swimmers, you can see they're a lot more lean, and I mean it makes sense with the amount of distance they're putting in and their races. We see here Stefan on our screen. He's really still fighting hard not to let Chris get too far ahead of him. He's having a great race so far. As you see the rest of the field here. As we focus on lane 3, Caden over here, like we said earlier, he looked very comfortable, very much in control, great stroke, and that's just showing as he's in 3rd place at the moment, having a great swim. He'll carry this through. Got Jean Basson's cap on that was given to him, and I mean he even wears it at training a lot of the time, really cherishes that cap, and he's swimming like a true champion, just like Jean Basson, and representing that cap very well. You see Chris and Tyron passing our screen there. Stefan's, really fighting hard as Chris tries to extend his lead there. Looking very comfortable, got into his stride. Stefan really fighting hard. He's having a great swim so far. You can see the difference there. Chris has a bit more of a kick there, about a 3 to 4 beat kick there. You won't see a 6 beat kick in an 800. Maybe on the last 25 or 50, depending how much they have left in the tank. But Stefan at the moment swimming on his arms. Probably going to bring that kick in a little bit later, as he has 11 laps to go. As we see Caden, he's got more of a consistent kick there. He's also got into a great stride. He seems to get into a bit of a rhythm when it comes to these longer distance races. So that's always something you can try count on. As we focus on our race leader here, Chris, you can see nothing has changed. No, he's definitely feeling it, but you wouldn't think so with the way he's in control of this race, in control of his stroke. Nice long stroke in the front there with his arms, finishing it all the way at the hips there. A lot of the time in freestyle, people tend to get tired, shorten their stroke, but we spoke about it yesterday, and he's holding that stroke together very well, finishing it out all the way at the back there with his hands past his hips. As you see Caden entering our screen now, he's in third place at the moment with Chris just behind him. Just showing the pace of Chris there as he's already lapped people. We've got Stefan there coming into frame as he's really still fighting. He's having a great swim so far. Chris just each lap gaining a slight edge on Stefan there. You wouldn't want someone to get too far ahead of you. But Stefan's really putting in a great effort to try and maintain this race and have a good overall swim altogether. Yeah, keep there. No. 7 and 8. We have there in lane 7 and 8, Leo and Julian from Waterborne together there, putting in a good swim. As we see Chris come in for his final lap, 25 meters left to go. And there's our race leader on screen, Chris. You can see how he's increased that kick, big 6-speed kick there. He's really putting in a big last 25 meters here. Great to see after all the racing he's done. He finished that in 8 minutes 19, so that's a very good swim from him. Great time. As we have Stefan coming in, and he's had a great swim. He's really fought hard and really had an overall great swim from him, and he finishes in a time of 8 minutes 34. And on screen now we have lane 4 Tyron, and here comes Caden in lane 3. He'll finish off third. Very strong swim from him. You can see they all increased that kick towards the end of the race. He's had a great race there. Like we said, lane 2 and 3 have just really done well, and we call it a lucky lane, but it's all come down to the swimmers and their hard work. An 800 is not easy at all. So great swimming from all of these athletes so far, and it's just awesome to see. There on the far end of the pool we have in lane 8 Julian and Taylor in lane 9 finishing off their 800 meter freestyle. See Taylor there in lane 9 he has a big kick. He's finishing off this race really strong, so well done from him. His older brother Caden there had a great swim, lane 3, coming third. As we see, Taylor finishing off very strong there. So definitely following in his brother's footsteps. After those long distance races, we're back to a few sprints. We have the women's under 13 100-meter breaststroke final. In lane 2 we have Maria. In lane 3 we have Mabeleng. In lane 4 we have Talia. In lane 5 Dariana. In lane 6 Kirsten. In lane 7 Ava. In lane 8 Alessia. In lane 9 Talia. Here we have in lane 5 Dariana with a great start and a great fast stroke rate going into her first 25 meters of a 100-meter breaststroke. Like we spoke about earlier, the 200 meters being a bit of a middle distance event, a little bit awkward in between the sprints and the long distance. 100 meters basically all sprint, and we can see Dariana showing us how it's done as she goes into her first 50 meters about a body length and a half ahead of the rest of the field. So great swimming from her so far. And in lane 6 we have Kirsten, who's in second place, having a great swim. And in third place, it is between the rest of the field. There are a few swimmers fighting for that third place spot. As we can see now, very close for third place. It's going to come down to the wire. But it is all about Dariana. She's got a big crowd behind her, really cheering her on. She's really going for a cheer. She's finishing off strong. And you have Kirsten in lane 6, who's going to finish second, also finished off very strong. Dariana finished in a time of 1 minute 15 seconds, so well done to her. And third place, very close contest for third place, and that goes to lane 4, which is Talia, in a time of 1 minute 31 seconds. That brings us on to our women's 14 to 15-year-old 100-meter breaststroke final. In lane 3 we have Latabo, in lane 4 we have Stacey, lane 5 Gabriella, lane 6 Mackenzie, lane 7 Nkanya, in lane 8 Tanika. Sorry. Very good start and underwaters there from lane 5 Gabriella. As you can see, finishing her stroke nicely in front. Good outsweep, very high hips. You'll see when we get to this 100-meter breaststroke, especially in the 100s and 50-meter breaststrokes, you'll see very high hips from a lot of the swimmers. It's almost looking like dolphin. It's additional to your breaststroke kick and really does get your hips nice and high. Giving you that edge and helping you throw yourself forward with your arms. So great technique here from Gabriella in lane 5 as she leads the race by about 2 body lengths, as she has in second place Mackenzie, who we've seen has been a great athlete throughout this meet. Very strong performance from her, and she's in second place, getting chased down by Nkanya in lane 7. But it's all about Gabriella in lane 5 here. She's really pushing hard, finishing this 100-meter breaststroke very strong. And keeping it together. In breaststroke, you can often shorten your stroke towards the end as your arms and legs fatigue, but she's done very well. Dives into the wall there, looks at the time, finishes in the time of 1 minute 12. Looks like not quite what she was looking for, but nonetheless, very good swim from her. She had a great gala so far. So great racing, some exciting stuff in this 100-meter breaststroke. And that brings us on to our 16 and overs final 100-meter breaststroke. In lane 2 we have Casey, lane 3 we have Tammy, lane 4 Jessica, lane 5 Simone, lane 6 Kaylee, lane 7 Christine, lane 8 Haley, and lane 9 Isabella. Very good start there from lane 6 Kaylee, but it is lane 5 lane 4 Jessica who came out the water first there. But in saying that, it is lane 5 Simone who's now in the lead. As we spoke about earlier in the previous heat, you see those hips, high hips, breaststroke almost looking like seahorse. Great strategy, especially for those short distance races. Not as legible in the longer distance races. Tends to wear you out a lot more, so you'll see a bit of a different technique in those 200-meter breaststroke races. But as you can see here, it's working like an absolute charm. Great breaststroke technique from lane 5 Simone, as she's about 4 body lengths ahead of the rest of the field. She's going to end the rest of this race strong. Second place there we have Kaylee and Jessica on the other side, with Simone finishing that race off strong in a time of 1 minute 8 seconds, followed by lane 6 Kaylee and lane 4 Jessica. That brings us to our men's under 13 100-meter breaststroke final. In lane 2 we have Lenko, in lane 3 Luca, lane 4 Gordon, lane 5 Lekwan, lane 6 Tian, lane 7 Stefan, lane 8 Gerard, in lane 9 Sabi. And here we have a very good start in underwaters from lane 4 Gordon. We've seen him in previous races, really had outstanding performances so far, but it's his teammate Lekwan in lane 5 who's taken the lead going into the wall. And in the far lane there, lane 7 Stefan, who's having a great swim so far, his first 25 meters. It is neck and neck between lane 4 Gordon and lane 5 Lekwan. They're on the same teammate, but they choose to put their cap on differently. Lane 4 there, Gordon opting to put his cap on essentially backwards. Makes sense for backstroke, you know, go a bit faster. You can see them two there having great competition there, really fighting it out. You can see them having a look at each other. Very tempting to do. You always want to focus on your own race, but it's always very tempting. Their coach Hilton Collinson and myself used to race. We used to do the exact same thing. You're always looking at each other. At the end of the day, it's a race, so you're always wanting to see where your teammates are, where the other competitors are, and beat them. But it looks like it's going to be lane 4 Gordon who wins this race. Great performance by him. Second goes to Lekwan, and we've seen Gordon has been outstanding this whole meet. So very well done to him, putting in a big 100-meter breaststroke, winning it from lane 4. That brings us to our men's 14 to 1500 meter breaststroke final. In lane 2 we have Michael, lane 3 we have Cornele, lane 4 we have Caden, lane 5 we have Joshua, lane 6 we have Adam, lane 7 we have Irvin, lane 8 we have Michael, lane 9 we have Zonda. Just waiting for the officials there to fix the kicker at the back of the block. We spoke about them yesterday. Very beneficial. Gives you some great grip on the blocks and allows you to use that power in your back foot to get a great start. Very important in these short distance sprint races. As we see there, the middle lanes, Caden, Joshua, Adam, all great starts there. We'll see who's going to turn into the wall first after 25 meters. It looks like it's going to be Adam, but it's all very close between the first 3 middle lanes. As you see there, Joshua with some very good underwaters to just gain the edge. Caden there fighting hard. He's just had an 800 meter freestyle, but he's not backing down in this 100 meter breaststroke. He wants to be on the podium here. He's fighting for that first place. It's Adam and Joshua at the moment. Adam with the slight lead there on Joshua. We'll see who goes into the wall first here. It looks like it's going to be Adam, Joshua, then Caden. See this last underwater is going to be crucial. We see Joshua there with a big underwater there. Just put him right next to Adam. It's going to come right down to the touch. Caden fighting back hard there in third place. It's between Adam and Joshua here. Who's going to take it? It's going to come down all to the touch. Who's got the timing right? And it seems to be Adam in lane 5 who has timed it. Sorry, Joshua in lane 5 who has timed it to a T and really fought back at Adam there, claiming that number 1 spot. Adam second, Caden third. Great racing from these young men. And that brings us to the last event of today, the men's 16 and over 100 meter breaststroke final. The big boys, in lane 3 we have Christian, in lane 4 we have Hein, in lane 3 we have Gianluca, in lane 6 we have Jandre, in lane 7 we have Jaden, in lane 8 we have JJ. Big start there from Jandre in lane 6, as well as next to him Jaden in lane 7, as they have the slight edge here going into the first 25 meters. Jandre touches first there, but it's all very close between those first 3, those middle lanes there. We have Hein in lane 4, who's really come back at them. Great second 25 going into the 50 meter mark. He's actually going to turn first there with lane 5 Gianluca and lane 6 Jandre right behind him on their shoulder. It's all about the second 50. Who can hold their stroke? You don't want to start slipping. You don't want to start shortening your stroke. Let's see who can keep it together here. It's going to be Hein in lane 4. It turns first again. He's got about half a body length on them now. This last underwater. Jandre puts in the last big underwater. Did he wait too long there as Gianluca gains a little bit on him? Gianluca fighting back hard at Hein here. Will Hein be able to hold him off? Gianluca fighting back. It's all going to come down to the touch. And it is lane 4, Hein, who takes it in a time of 1 minute 7 seconds. And just behind him was lane 5, Gianluca. That was some great, exciting racing there. Great swimming overall and a great meet. Thank you to SwimPartners for hosting this, and It's Happening Africa to bring in this production. And we hope to see you at the next one. Thank you for tuning in.